welcome to Yoga Rocks Box. We're at our new location in Agios Pavlos, so we're even closer to the sea now. There you go, there's the sea. I'm here with Melanie Cooper. I haven't been doing as many interviews recently, but when Mel said, do you want to talk about bottoms? I decided I definitely did. So, Mel, what are we going to talk about then?
Well, it's a really common thing that the muscles in the bum, sorry, keep my hands down.
It's good, I like it.
Get switched off. And it's actually got a name, it's called sleepy butt syndrome. And I think it's been made worse in yoga. There's been a big sort of fashion in the yoga world of always relaxing your bum muscles. And it's not a good idea, basically, because those muscles have got a very important job to do, and if you switch them off, it can cause all kinds of problems in the body. So just mainly keep on wanting to do this. Mainly talking about Glute Max. So it's got two sort of main jobs to do. One is extending the hip, which is lifting your leg up behind you, like you do in Warrior 3. And the other is external rotation of the hip. And so if Glute Max isn't working, other muscles will have to come in and do the job instead. So when you're lifting your leg up behind you, it's mainly the hamstrings that will have to work extra hard because the glute isn't doing its job. And then the hamstrings get tight and overworked and really prone to injury. So there's that. And then also, if it's not doing the external rotation, then it's the deep external rotations that have to kind of kick in and do the job, which is piriformis and other ones, but piriformis is the most famous one. And then that can cause all sorts of problems. It can cause sciatica, because the sciatic nerve sometimes goes through the piriformis muscle. And it can cause, because piriformis is part of the pelvic floor, so then tightness in the pelvic floor can cause all kinds of problems like constipation and period pains and incontinence. And also the pelvic floor is part of our stress anxiety response, so if that is always tight, it feeds into anxiety and stress in the body. So sleeping butt is really bad. And it's partly caused as well by sitting down all day, because when we're sitting down, the glutes are held in a sort of stretched out position and they're inactive. So when we're doing that all day, and then especially relaxing it in our yoga practice as well, it's especially bad. And also weak glutes can feed into lower back pain. So all kinds of bad happen. So really my message is engage the glutes.
Okay, so Tadasana.
Yes. I would say you don't want to be clenching. So there should be light tone. So Glute Max, I would say, is a postural muscle. It is supporting the body, but we don't have to, kind of clench it. We never want it, because that's another story, which maybe we could do next year, which is over tight, buns of steel that won't relax even if you really try. So we don't want that, but I would say light engagement. But the thing is, you don't want to be deliberately relaxing certain parts of the body and deliberately engaging. You want the body to be responding naturally. So I'd say don't hold anything tight and don't relax anything all the time. Let it all just work naturally. But you do have to, if your butt's gone to sleep, you do have to wake it up by doing some extra butt exercise.
And what about Chaturanga?
I would say work it, baby.
Yes, I've been doing that recently, and it seems to really
Yes.
Well, I did want to ask you about that.
Yes.
Yeah, because I like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And back bends as
yeah,
well.
Tadasana.
Yeah, work it.
Work it.
Upward dog.
Yeah.
Work it. And not, like I say, not clench, but engage. And it's that kind of action of pressing, say an upward dog, pressing your sit bones towards the floor or towards your back heels without flattening the natural curves of the spine, or in Urdhva Dhanurasana, pressing the sit bones towards the knees, that does that engagement. Same in Purvottanasana, it's like pressing up. So it's probably in Tadasana as well, that action of that everything kind of presses into the centre line of the body, but that gives the engagement without clenching.
Now, was it you or someone else who said to me, you've got to engage your gluteus minimus or the other way around, and activate your gluteus maximus? Is that you or someone else?
In Urdhva Dhanurasana?
No, it just gently. I can't remember what it was. Was it you?
Oh, I don't think that was me.
No, because I was like, how on earth do you separate those?
Yeah.
Is that
Well,
difficult?
I think because glute minimus does, well, it depends what part of the muscle you're talking about. It's complicated. But glute minimus does internal rotation and glute max does external rotation mainly. Although they can both do the opposite depending on where you start off from. So I think there are times when you do like clams, when you do that thing of lifting up from the side where you can get the engagement to go deeper in.
Oh, I like them. Are they good?
Yes,
Yes.
definitely.
I like them.
Definitely. You want, because all those muscles as well support the SI joint. So that's another part of the sleeping butt syndrome. If your butt's not doing its job, the SI, you just end up pulling on the ligaments in the SI joint. So you want all that glute minimus, medius, maximus, all to be working.
And sometimes when I'm walking, I think about my bottom while I'm walking, so I'm like, think bottom, 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 and I get more reaction.
Brilliant.
Do you think that's good?
I think that's great.
Do you think it works?
I think it does. And
I'm never quite sure.
Yeah, because I mean those muscles should be working really when we walk, especially when we're running as well. And if you think about pressing the heel back and down, that connects up to the glutes. So if you think like heel back and down bottom, then I think that's, I'm really for that. Sometimes I'll put my hands on my bottom just to get that wake up to connection. You have to, choose when you do that.
I do often tell people to relax their bottoms in class. Yeah.
When they're clenched or just always?
Just a lot of the time.
Just a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, well I think it was taught. And I did it myself for ages and taught it myself for ages.
Yeah, because I like it the way it makes your back relax, but at the same time, like I've been working a little bit more because I feel that you do at some time, you've got to wake it up, haven't you?
It's a balance. It's always a balance with these things. I mean, ideally, you if it's fallen asleep, you wake it up, and then after a bit, you forget about it and just let it do its job in its own time.
Anything else about bottoms, or is that it?
I think we've probably
Yay!
covered the important points.
Excellent. So that was Melanie Cooper on bottoms on Yoga Rocks Box. I'm Douglas Pavlos on a beautiful day. So that's it for Yoga Rocks Box today. Thanks, Mel.
Thank you.
It was a lovely week with Mel, by the way.